I started using when I was 14 years old. I grew up in San Diego and moved here at 7th grade. Moved up to Morgan County. While I was in San Diego, I became, a San Diego Charger fan, a junior Charger fan. Once I moved to Morgan from San Diego, I realized that everybody up there is a Denver Bronco fan. So pretty much my favorite team is the Los Angeles Chargers now. And my second favorite team is anybody that plays the Denver Broncos. So, just so you know. Now, when I was 14, I met a girl, a 19-year-old girl. My sister moved here from California, and she brought one of her friends here, and we ended up, I was a 14-year-old boy, but I thought I was a man, and I decided we was going to run away together to California, and so I ran off with an older woman at 14 years old and started smoking weed and doing cocaine and drinking heavily and smoking, and I pierced my ear and grew my hair out and dyed my hair orange and went on the run for a few months. The girl decided she didn't want to be with a younger kid now, and I ended up homeless in Santa Clara, California, and found my way home. I ended up getting locked up in the behavioral health unit up at the old St. Benedict's, and from there just got out of there and just became the parking lot crew, became a pot smoker. And when I was 15, I moved in with my big brother, and I wanted to match a shot for shot with him on a bottle of vodka because I was a grown-up still, and I ended up overdosing on alcohol with alcohol poisoning and got put in the hospital and pumped my stomach. And at that time, I ended up going to what they call Day Spring at McCady Hospital. They had an adolescent program there. I went through their treatment program. That's when I got introduced to AA and NA, and got pretty involved there. Met a girl. We ended up getting together, and then she ended up pregnant at 16. I went and got me a job, started drinking here and there again, and working at JB's Family Restaurant in Roy as a dishwasher, and I had my first son when I was 16, 17 years old. We ended up getting married. She got pregnant again. I had another son, and then another son, three sons before I was 19. I ended up started using heavily on alcohol and acid and weed and everything else you can do. But I never tried meth until I was about 19 years old. I got divorced from my wife, and just kind of went downhill. Met a guy. He introduced me to crystal meth. And 19, I started using crystal meth very heavily. At the age of about 20 years old, I had some roommates that committed a crime, and they kind of thought I did it, so they came and arrested me, and I ended up going to jail. And they found out it wasn't me, but I ended up going on the run for that for 5 years and 8 months. Finally got busted, and I ended up going to jail again. So here I am, 24 years old. By this time, I've already got another child, and we got another one on the way. Got married and met another girl in treatment when I went to jail, and then got out and did treatment and met another girl and got her pregnant, and ended up getting my daughter was born. So here I am, 24 years old, and got 5 kids at the time, and couldn't figure out a way to stop drinking, couldn't figure out a way to stop using meth, and thought that I was a grown-up and I had all these kids, but it just took me down, and I started using heavily again. I ended up eventually, long story short, I ended up on the streets, lost everything, lost my kids, and just kind of bounced around from job to job. I've had probably over 130, I did have 134 jobs since the year 2000 because I just couldn't keep a job. I was too busy getting high and drunk and running around getting crazy, and couldn't hold a job, couldn't get a place to live. My credit's shot, everything's gone, my kids are gone, and I just ended up pretty much living behind a dumpster for years, living behind a dumpster down there behind the Lantern House in Ogden, and living in the park over here across the street from the Alano Club, and just had nowhere to go, and had nothing left. I conceded to the fact that I was in addiction and alcoholism, and that's all I was ever going to be, just a homeless junkie, alcoholic, living on the streets, and that's all I ever wanted to be anymore, and that's all I ever did. And Eventually I ended up at my daughter's work, and I was homeless, and I'd been, probably smelled very bad, and I ended up, she asked me to leave. She worked at Jimmy John's at the time in Riverdale, and she said I couldn't be there as, I smelled, but when I left, she came chasing me down with these big crocodile tears, and gave me the number to this place called Valley Camp. I ended up calling Valley Camp. It took a while because I didn't have a phone, and they just don't let you use the phone at Chevron at night. And so it took me a minute to find a phone, and I called them, and they said, "Why don't you come up?" And my sister said she'd buy me some cigarettes. I called her and told her I called Valley Camp. She got really excited and said, "Okay, I'm going to go up there, and I'll buy you some cigarettes, and you can clean up and get some food if you go to a meeting at Valley Camp." So 7 years ago, 7 years and 2 months, May 5th, I ended up at a place called Valley Camp. Went up there for a meeting. The board of directors up there all kind of cornered me and asked me if I wanted to stay, and I told them I don't have any money. They said, "That's okay, we got you." I said, "I don't have any clothes, I don't have anything." They said, "That's okay, we got you, you can stay here, just stay here one more night." And I didn't really want to be there, but I didn't have anywhere else to go. And so I stayed, and I stomped feet and kicked dirt and didn't want to be there for the first month. And then my 30 days came, and my daughter showed up there to give me my 30-day chip. In Alcoholics Anonymous, you get 30-day, 60-day, 90-day chips to celebrate your clean time, sobriety time. And it's not just for yourself, it's for the newcomer to see that it can be done. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to get this 30-day chip. I didn't care. I just figured I was going to go back. And then my daughter showed up, and she got up in front of 100 people at the podium and told everybody, "My daddy thinks I'm mad at him. I just want my daddy to get better." And from that second on, I dedicated my life to recovery. I dedicated my life to doing whatever they said to do to get sober. I was going to do it. They told me to put my head in the toilet 10 times a day, and that was going to get me clean and sober. I was doing it. Because I couldn't take what I just done to my daughter for all her life, all my boys, what I done to their life, my other daughter. I was getting right, and I was staying right, and I was doing the next right thing. And I did it. I got involved with recovery. I got involved with the steps in Alcoholics Anonymous. I got me a job in recovery, working as a peer support specialist here in Ogden at Stepping Stones through Weaver Human Services. First time I've ever had a job that gave you insurance or gave you paid time off or gave you sick leave. First time I ever had a job that any of that. And then I got to hang out with my people, my brothers that were struggling with addiction. They paid me to hang out with them. I couldn't believe it. I'd do that for free. And now I got a job doing that. So really, I knew a whole new meaning of what happiness, joy, and love is. Because if you're happy with what you're doing, and you get joy from what you're doing, and you love what you're doing, then you'll never work a day in your life. And that's me today. I don't make a lot of money, and I don't do a lot of things, but I go on an adventure every single day, and I get another opportunity for growth. I get another opportunity to help the newcomer every single day. I became on the board of directors at Valley Camp. I'm a certified peer support specialist and case manager. I'm in college right now to get my SADC, substance abuse disorder counselor. 7 years I've been able to become the president of the Alano Club here in Ogden. We've been able to turn things around here and been able to help the newcomer on a daily basis. I get to go over to the park over there, and we have meetings over there every Thursday. I'm trying to get more. We have events. I get to be a part of the organization of events for recovery, and I get to be involved. Every facet of my life is in recovery to help the newcomer, to help the new person to come along and get sober and clean, and I get to do that every single day. And I just so happen to get paid for it on some of it. The rest of it, I do it because I'm passionate about changing lives. I have an amazing relationship with my daughter today. I have an amazing relationship with my sons. I have a son that I lost when he was 2 weeks old, and he showed back up after 24 years, and then we have an amazing relationship now. My life doesn't get any better than this. I'm getting ready to go on an adventure to San Diego to work in recovery there and maybe help somebody in San Diego. I had an opportunity 2 years ago to go to Clear Lake, California and work at a treatment center there, and became a substance abuse counselor there. And I was able to help people coming out of San Quentin prison, and I still have many relationships from those guys that came out of the prison and got sober and still call me on a regular basis and tell me how grateful they are for what we have been able to do for them. And I get to live that life every day, and my heart is overflowing with joy. And is it hard sometimes to see somebody fall down? Yeah, it hurts bad because you get invested in some of these guys. But I ain't judging them because I was that guy. I didn't get sober till I was 47 years old, 46. And now I'm 52, and I've got 7 years sober, and my life doesn't get any better than this. And I'm getting ready to go to San Diego to do it again and leave the Alano Club in the hands of the recovery community to let them run it and change lives on a daily basis. And I get to do that every single day. Now I get to take it wherever I go and be a part of people's lives, changing lives, being a part of everybody that gets to come in here and give them a meal, and sit down with them and tell them what recovery means to me and what I get to do every single day. And then they get inspired and they get to do it, because it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get back up. And as long as I can be there for when you get back up, and we're going to stand there together, and we're going to hold each other up, and we're going to do it together. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Go Chargers.